Panasonic, the heart of your system.
Hi guys, Lumens here from Kit Guru, and we are going to be doing something completely different to what I usually am used to doing. So normally I play gameplay videos, however this year I will be focusing a lot on products as well. So my first product is going to be the Elgato Key Light. So this is one of the new competing products on the high-end studio market. It contains 80 premium LEDs and gives an output of a whopping 2,500 lumens. Key Light was made to replace the messy setups that a lot of broadcasters have these days when it comes to light boxes and ring lights. So usually those kind of lights require to go on a tripod and then on the floor, and generally just there isn't enough space and you could never push your desk to the wall. You'd always have to have it awkwardly in the middle of the room and everything around it. They have made this Key Light so it can actually be mounted on a desk, so you're not having to take up the floor space. It's not intrusive, it doesn't look messy. And just generally, they wanted to make the setups for broadcasters very, very clean. The features that make the Elgato Key Light different to those high-end studio lights that are out there, not just from it being a mountable desk light, but generally from the fact that it has a lot of different options. So the Elgato Key Light offers a colour range from 2,900 kelvins up to 7,000 kelvins, and you can actually adjust the lumen level. So you can have your light dim, you can have your light really bright, and you can actually change the colours from cool to warm. You can actually go ahead and adjust it to how you want. One of the really cool things that I thought about the Elgato Key Light was the fact that you could actually control everything via the app, either on your PC or a Mac or the iOS devices. And this was a really cool feature for me, just for the fact that I don't have to get up and turn down the brightness or turn on and off the light. I can do it all via my PC. So first off, whilst we open the Elgato Key Light, let's have a look at the packaging and the design of it. So already just by looking at the box, you can definitely tell it's an Elgato product, as they always seem to stick with the blue colour scheme to make products easily recognisable to them as a brand. On the front of the box, you'll notice that there are some key features listed that the Key Light actually has. There is also an image of what the Key Light is to look like, so that you know what the product actually is. Once the product has been opened, inside you will find a cardboard guide on how to set up your new Key Light, which contains diagrams and basic written instructions in English, French and German. It also explains how to download the software for the Key Light and how to connect and pair it to your PC to control it via Elgato's control center. The guide is very simple to read, and I enjoyed the fact that it was on cardboard instead of just a piece of paper inside of the box itself. This is a nice feature that Elgato have added. After removing the guide, there are 3 compartments which hold the different parts of the product in place. There is one for the pole mount, which mounts to the desk. There is one for the universal AC adapters, which actually contain 4 different adapters, including one for the UK, and finally a slot for the light itself. It's all presented very nicely and packaged very well. Upon opening the box, it contains a power supply along with the 4 different types of AC adapters. You find that you've been supplied with quite a few of them. So the first one is the type A/B. The second one would be a type G, which is a UK plug, which I will be using personally. The next one is a type I adapter, and finally you are given a type C adapter. Overall, I think this is really good because that means when it comes to using this product is going to be able to be used worldwide without any fear of not having the right adapter. So this is the power supply box, which contains the cable which actually goes into the back of your Key Light. The way in order to put these adapters on is to find where the entrance of the slot is, pop it on the power brick itself, and then kind of do like a twisting motion right. This should click into place and should be secure. The light is also packaged individually, and you can get the sneak preview here of how thin the actual light box is. This is a lot different in comparison to a lot of the other high-end studio light boxes that are available, just for the fact that they are very, very chunky, they take up a lot of floor space, and just generally they are a lot thicker than the Elgato's Key Light. This would be one of the 4 available holes in which you can screw in the multi-angle mount to allow for it to fit in place at the top of the pole mount. You can either have your key light in a landscape position or actually in an upright portrait position. Elgato's Key Light has a glare-free diffusion thanks to its beautifully balanced opal glass face. The key light is 24.9 centimeters in height, 34.9 centimeters in width, and the trim around the edges is just a little over 1 centimeter. This is possibly the most smallest and thinnest high-end studio light I've ever come across. The back of the light has a pretty abstract pattern, and I found this interesting as Elgato could have just gone with a plain black design, however they really wanted to give their product some character by incorporating this feature. It includes 4 1/4 inch thread mount slots around the trim of the light box, and a black box where you will find the power supply insert port, as well as an on-off button and a reset button. The on-off buttons are pretty self-explanatory, however the reset button, if you hold down this reset button for 10 seconds, this will discard any of the presets that you've made via the Elgato control center, as well as actually removing the Wi-Fi connections that you have between your key light and the device, allowing you to potentially set up a new Wi-Fi connection. Moving on to the pole mount, you will again find that it has been individually wrapped just like the key light was. The pole mount can extend up to a maximum of 125 centimeters and shorten to a minimum of 55 centimeters. For the usual setup, it is highly recommended that you use a maximum height of 90 centimeters. However, this is completely down to your own discretion and you can choose whatever height that you would like. The pole mount displays its Elgato logo at the base of the clamp, which again to me is a nice feature, as it's, instead of having a plain black mount, they've made it their own by showing off their logo, making it easy to tell this product's mount and any other competing mountable products apart. This is a part of the pole mount where you actually twist this into one of the 4 holes of your key light box. So this is where the light box itself is actually going to sit on when the pole mount is actually mounted to your desk. On the pole mount, it is easy to distinguish which piece is which without even looking at the diagrams that have been provided for you. You can extend the pole mount by twisting both of the pole clamps right on the pole itself in order to loosen them. I had a little bit of difficulty with this one, unfortunately, as the diagram does show that you do twist left to loosen them. However, it wasn't the case. After it getting a bit jammed, I did finally manage to loosen it and extend it to any height that I wanted. So this is a part where I actually wanted to mount my pole mount to my desk. So the way I did this was I opened up the clamp to the necessary width that I needed for my desk, and then once I was happy with the location of the pole mount, I then tightened the screw just by turning it left. I kept turning and then it got really tight to a point where I would wobble it to see how secure it was, and to be honest, it didn't really move. The pole mount feels very sturdy when it's clamped to the desk and doesn't give the fear of it loosening by itself or having the opportunity to fall over. At this point, if you still feel like the pole mount isn't high enough for how you would like it, you still have the opportunity to again extend or shorten the pole mount if you'd like to. As mentioned earlier, this is a part that will be going into the key light box itself. So once you have twisted and taken out the multi-angle part, then you can go ahead and then put it into your key light. So again, you can choose either one of the 4 holes depending on how you want it to be, either landscape or portrait. And then once you are happy with the position that you've chosen, you can then put it back into the multi-angle holder, in which then you can adjust in how you want your key light to sit, whether you want it facing a bit downwards, a bit back, on its side, generally just however you feel that is more beneficial for you and your needs when it comes to wanting high-end studio light. Again, it's always good to give it a little wobble just to see whether it is gonna kind of flop over at any point. However, as long as you have tightened everything correctly, then you know that you're not going to be able to have it falling over by itself at any point, and you don't have to worry about it breaking. So guys, now that we've set up the Elgato Key Light, I want to show you guys on how to actually go ahead and get the benefits out of having it set up on your PC. So this will be via the Elgato Control Center, and what will happen is you'll be able to change the color of your light, you'll be able to change the brightness levels of it, and generally you can update the firmware, you can go ahead and change the name of your Elgato Key Light, and obviously find new connections. So one thing to mention with the Elgato Key Light, at this moment in time it doesn't have Android capabilities. So that means the only way you can use your Android phone is if you kind of use it as like a Wi-Fi piggyback. But other than that, there isn't anything controlling wise via the Android phones. However, if you do have an iOS mobile device, you can do the exact same thing as what the Elgato Control Center on the PC does. Except obviously, again, this will be released after the full release of the Elgato Key Light product. It's not actually set down in stone whether Elgato have completely gotten rid of this Android device idea. However, it is something that maybe they will change in the future depending on how many people actually ask for it. So currently at this moment in time, I am using pre-release software where when the product actually does get its full release, there will be download links available on the Elgato website where you can actually download the Elgato Control Center as well as the updated version for the Stream Deck software as well. Once you've downloaded your Elgato Control Center, you will be able to connect the accessory via the Wi-Fi. So in order to do this, what you need to do is turn on the Elgato Key Light and then connect via your Wi-Fi. So what you want to do is you want to go into your add accessory options and then connect them both up via the Wi-Fi through the PC and then the Elgato Key Light itself. Once a Wi-Fi connection has been established between both the PC and the Elgato Key Light, this is where you'll be able to see the box in which you can control all the levels of your key light. As you can see, I'm able to adjust the levels without actually moving and touching the key light itself. To me, this is just incredible. So to me, the Elgato Key Light and the Elgato green screen work perfectly together. The reason for this is it's a lot easier to get good green screening light without having to maneuver the light too much, as you can adjust the brightness levels via the Elgato Control Center. So I'm just going to quickly show you how easy it is to set up the Elgato green screen. So it's really easy to pull up the screen and then push it back down to put it away. It's the easiest green screen I've ever come across. Before, I used to have this awful pop-out one, and generally it was very, very awkward to kind of put back down again. However, with the green screen, it can just stay in my room, not causing an obstruction, and generally not a pain to put away. Now that we have the Elgato green screen set up, I want to show you guys on how to actually go ahead and make it work. So I'm going to be using OBS in order to do this. So I will be going here, hovering over where my camera is, and then going to filters. And then when you are in filters, you need to add Chroma Key. So I've already added it. Here we go. So now you can actually see like loads of me. So you can actually go ahead and slide all these sliders. So you can see here that it's still very, very green, but the more I slide it, it disappears. So you want to make it get to a level where you can't really see a lot of fuzziness. There may still be areas where it's a little bit fuzzy. This means that you will have to adjust your lighting accordingly to try and avoid those shadowy areas, because obviously the green screen won't work properly. And then you have your, I'm like invisible, hello. But yeah, so you just basically adjust the levels to suit what is going well with your light, going well with your green screen position, and just generally the colors that you have going on as well. I quite like that. So as you can see, there isn't really much flickering going on. So let's go ahead and actually get rid of this and then put this on. So now that you can see, by just moving some of the dials, you do have to kind of fiddle about a little, but you can see that there is no like issue with the Chroma Key or anything. The Elgato Key Light does make it a lot easier for when I'm setting up for my streams or doing my videos for Kit Guru. There's just not the awkwardness of having to lean over and turn the light on and off, or just generally having to adjust the brightness level, because my old ring light, with it being 18-inch, it was very, very blinding, so I would have to turn it around, where the Key Light, I can actually have it on my face and it doesn't actually affect me at all. And if for some reason I'm having one of those days where I feel that it's a bit too bright, then I can just adjust it via my PC. So it means that I don't have to get uncomfortable and go ahead and move out of the position that I'm in, or just generally I can do it whilst I'm in the middle of a game. And to me, as a streamer and as someone who makes these videos, it's very, very simple for me to be able to use this. The key light is very, it's not intrusive, so I don't feel like it's taking up a lot of my desk space. All in all, guys, the Elgato Key Light is something I would definitely recommend. Me personally, I didn't actually know I needed something like this until I'd set it up and used it. This will be something that I'll be using on a daily basis for when I do my streams and my videos for Kit Guru. And generally, it's definitely a lot more nicer to look at. It's not intrusive. I can adjust the brightness levels if I'm having one of those days where I'm just light is hurting me. So thank you so much, guys, for watching my product videos. I hope that you've enjoyed it, with it being my first one. I've never really done anything like this before. I've only ever really kind of just played games. So this is definitely something new to me. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and look out for some more in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't already, please make sure you do subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, please make sure you like it. Goodbye, guys.